Welcome to Her Lights, your home for women's sports coverage. I'm your host, Erin Foley, a stand-up comic, TV writer, and most important, an obsessed sports fan. I break down the best games, highlight the best stories, and interview the best from the world of women's sports. So put on your jerseys, stretch out your hammies, and let's do this. Hello, Herlighters. It's Erin Foley back in the booth talking women's sports. I have missed all of you so much. Apologize for the hiatus, some personal stuff, some professional stuff, but I am back here living the dream, talking women's sports. Here is how this episode is going to shake down. I just got back from Phoenix. I was there last Thursday through Monday. So we're going to talk about the games, the experience. So much fun. It was, oh my God, had the time of my life. And at the same point in time, we had the MSG sellout for the PWHL, Hockey Madness, and then we'll round it out with some really fun things going on this weekend. So let's just dive in. Phoenix couldn't have gone better. I had so much fun. Personally and professionally, did I wind up Saturday night at 2 a.m. on a dance floor with people maybe 30 years younger than me, wearing what I could only assume maybe a half of an outfit. Like I felt like they went out and they missed their other half. Well, maybe I'm 80, but just so much fun. And we'll get to that. And we'll get to the Geno Dawn drama of it all. But let's get a little bit nerdy. With the games, we'll do the semifinals pretty quickly, and we'll dive into the finals. But Phoenix, fantastic city. It was the perfect host. It wasn't 875 degrees like it was last year in Tampa. We got so lucky. A bunch of my friends. This is how you do it, right? You get a bunch of your lunatic friends. You get an Airbnb, so much cheaper because the hotels are insane. You take a bunch of Ubers. We had a pool. It was ridiculous. And my God, I was just like, I can't believe like I'm covering this for my job. I have figured it out and I just got to hang on to it. Okay. So going into the game, UConn, South Carolina, everyone just thought it was going to be pretty much everyone thought it was going to be UConn, Texas. UConn, obviously 38-0, a 54 game winning streak, tied for the fourth longest in Division I history. South Carolina, great, consistent all season, but everyone, me included, thinking they don't have the firepower to keep up with UConn. And wow, did they ever? Okay, so let's back this up 1 second. I have a media pass, right? So what they do is there's designated, areas in the stadium for media. And there's media workrooms. It's so impressive how they do it all. Just shout out to all the NCAA media coordinators. It was wonderful. So, but if I wanted an actual seat, it's kind of like in the rafters, right? So I spent most of the first game pretty high up, and then I found a media room that was attached to this suite, this hospitality suite, which was technically for the guests, but no one said anything, and I had a pass. So I basically watched the games from this kind of like random hospitality suite. Oh my God, so much fun. And everyone around me was saying the same thing. The whole time when I'm watching this UConn game, I'm thinking like, when are they going to flip the switch, right? The whole time I'm like they'd get a couple back-to-back hoops. I'm like, okay, here it comes. I must have said to myself, here it comes. Okay, here we go. Here it comes. And it never came. It never came. And sometimes that Fudd was off on her shot. Sarah Strong was off on her shot. And South Carolina, oh my God, when I'm telling you the two games where I thought the two games and the two teams, when I'm telling you, and I'm sure you saw this on television or you might have been there, when they did not take a possession off was the South Carolina team versus UConn, and then in the finals, UCLA versus South Carolina. Those games, those particular teams were so locked in, it felt like undeniable. And then still, South Carolina's up by 12-13 towards the end. I'm still thinking that UConn's going to come back. So just a huge congratulations to South Carolina. It was so unexpected. UConn won the first year, and of course, I grew up a UConn fan, but I was just like, good for Dawn, good for South Carolina. That team is so feel good. Tonight, Latson, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Freshman, Agat Makir. Oh my God, she was absolutely incredible in double figures. But yeah, and it went back to they were locked in. I'm sorry, but Dawn just not, I'm sorry, Dawn just outcoached Geno, and we'll get to that. But she outcoached him, which is extremely hard to do. And they deserved to win. They disrupted, they got in the passing lanes. They're wide, they're big, they were engaged. They just came out on the court and took it. And wow, it was so fun to watch because the UConn fans are always just in force and loud, but South Carolina fans were in force and loud. I was trying to think like during the game, I was like, it felt like pretty 50-50. Like I felt like UConn was louder in the beginning, and then maybe because they weren't dominating, they got a little quieter, and South Carolina fans took it up a notch. But to see all the fans and all the energy, for these games was, oh God, it was a goddamn dream sequence. And I'll say this, I'll wind this game down. I'll stand by this. This is the hill I will die on. Absolutely, UConn can just have a bad game. Of course, they can have a bad game, but that weak ass conference, again, not their fault, but love to see the Big East Conference get better somehow, some way, invest the money, schools, because you can't tell me them blowing out every single team in their conference when you've got the SEC and South Carolina and Texas and the Big Ten and Big 12, where every single game feels like a freaking championship, doesn't give you an advantage going into the Final Four. It just they never came from behind. They were never really challenged. And again, that's not the team's fault, but it hurt them. It hurt them, and I'm going to stand by that. Okay, second game, and we'll get to the Geno Don thing in 1 minute. Second game, UCLA Texas. This was we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because it was probably the ugliest basketball game I've ever seen in my entire life. We had this like epic first game, right? And then we go into UCLA Texas. A lot of you know this, but I've been out in LA now. It was 20 years, right? It was actually April 1st was 20 years, which is crazy because I'm 32. And so I've adopted UCLA. I had when I landed USC, UCLA, but I have friends that go to UCLA. My aunt worked at UCLA. So I was like, okay, I love public schools, comes from a public school education. So I was like, okay, we're going to go with UCLA. And so I've been cheering them for, forever now. And so not only did I want them to win the whole thing, I picked them in my pool. I won both. So I was living and dying for this UCLA team. But also, if Texas had beat UCLA, I was going to root for Texas because that team, I felt like that was a really feel-good team as well. So ugly. It was seriously the ugliest. I think it was like 6-2 for the four quarters. I've never seen such a low-scoring game. UCLA 23 turnovers. Texas shot like 40%, UCLA 41%. I mean, it was so bad. And I kept thinking, whoever loses this game is going to lose their mind because it was kind of up for the taking. UCLA played just a little bit better, but for sure, play of the game. Texas is coming back. Texas is coming back because UCLA had a little bit of a comfortable lead. Madison Booker, who I absolutely love. And congratulations. She got the Cheryl Miller Award for Best Small Forward back to back to back, 3 years in a row. Betts comes up with that enormous block. And that just, I don't know, shifted the energy. UCLA wins it. So just go back and we'll just touch on that this Don Geno because obviously it's day 4 of this and everybody has talked through it. But the great thing about going to these games is you're there, you're locked in. You're not listening to the announcers. You're just in it, right? And you're listening to the fans scream and the energy. The thing you do miss, and I did miss Rebecca Lobo, Ryan Ruocco, and Holly Rowe. And of course, our wonderful halftime commentators. But I missed you miss some moments, and that happened at the end of the game, right? The Geno Dawn saga. So after that game, like you get up, you're stretching. I've got to figure out like, okay, how am I going to approach the second game? Because I was like kind of do it in real time in Instagram threads. And I didn't see it. Nobody around me saw it. And then my phone starts blowing up. It's like, Foley, what did you think about Geno Dawn? What's going on? And I'm like, they're like, you're there. What's going on? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It was just crazy because, of course, it's covered on TV the whole time We're not watching it. So it was wild for this huge moment to happen and be there, but still not get a sense of what's happening. So I was on my phone trying to figure out what was going on while I was in the arena. And I don't know, it was just it. And then of course it was breaking throughout the UCLA Texas game. It might have been a little bit distracting. I don't know if to the players, but maybe the fans, because the crowd, the UCLA Texas fans were into it. But it was just such a bummer. I mean, I know Geno's like a piece of work, but I do respect him, and I think he's such a phenomenal coach, and what he's done for women's basketball has been absolutely tremendous. But my God, did he look like a complete and utter ass? He lost his mind. He just lost his mind. You don't F with Dawn. I'm sorry, but she's like the coolest woman alive. You've got like whatever, Michelle Obama, Beyonce, and Dawn Staley. I mean, those are like that's a trifecta of coolness. And like you've got this, it just felt like this like aging old white dude kind of out of touch. And he just lost it. And then he stands by his comments in the press conference, and we're like, no, no, please, please, no. UConn fans, at least, were like, oh God, no. And then, like, kind of half-assed apology the next day, and I'm like, this isn't good. And then finally, the apology that we all wanted, basically in the press conference, which really spoke volumes. It's like, yeah, he lost himself. He just lost it. He lost it. And Dawn Staley, the just absolute hero and icon, and she handled it with so much class, and and then to say like, oh, listen, I spoke with Geno, and it's all good. Water under the bridge. We're good. Just like a class act. I'm getting a little choked up because I love her so much. Plus, I didn't sleep last night. Because as most of you guys know, I got a cat and she wakes me up. I don't know, 17 times during the middle of the night, and I'm perimenopausal. Okay, a little emotional over here. Okay, let's talk about the finals. Actually, real quick, let's talk about the day before the finals. So Saturday, I went to see Sarah Spain's panel. She interviewed, panel podcast, live podcast. She interviewed Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. It was so awesome. This is the second year I got to see it, hear it live. So go to Good Game with Sarah Spain and listen to that, because she is like a masterclass in interviewing people, and it was so great. So there's a recommendation there. And then I went to this really cool ASU party fundraiser with my friend Megan Curry. And I got to meet Molly Miller, who's been a guest on the show. She's a new coach of ASU. So that was really great. And then I was like, you know what? And then I met up with the two women that own Whiskey Girl Tavern in Chicago, that women's sports bar. Go there. They're incredible people. And they're like, hey, you got to meet Audrey at Title IX Women's Sports Bar in Phoenix. So we went there. We met her. It's on my Instagram, took photos. She showed us gave us a tour of the bar. Go to Title IX in Phoenix. She's wonderful. It's such a cool sports bar. Great merch, great stuff on the walls. Highly recommend it. And then she's like, I own this lesbian bar next door. Now I'm like spacing on the name. And so they're like, she's like, go over there. We're like, all right. So I took like 4 or 5 of my friends and had too many beers and danced the night away. So that was super fun. And I'll put the name to the bar when I remember it, in Title IX in the show notes. So just so much fun Saturday night. Then I get up Sunday, small hangover, dipped in the pool and went to the finals. And I'm like, I'm living a dream. And so this game, well, we never saw this coming. I thought this was going to be down to the wire. And as a huge UCLA fan, one of the reasons why I pick them in my pool is because I thought to myself, first of all, yes, it was like a 60% heart pick. But I thought, and I watched them so much this year, and I thought, if we play, and I say we, to the best of our abilities, we truly, I believed, could beat any team. Now, it was just an ugly game on Friday, and we kind of escaped. We were a little bit better. But my God, to show up and play to the best of their ability on the biggest game in the biggest stage, all those seniors, forget it. It'll go down for me as one of my favorite sporting events of all time, because obviously it was my team and it's women's basketball. And it's also like, okay, if UCLA had to lose, they're losing to South Carolina, which is so super feel good. But my God, I've never seen them play better ever. They've never played better. That's just a fact. They've never played better. And one of the reasons also that I picked them in my pool is because they beat Iowa, who is no joke, in the Big Ten final by 40 points. And they played, that was like the second best game they've ever played. But to have all those seniors come back, and now it's all over the transfer portal. All of Texas is leaving. Tennessee doesn't have any players. Like Iowa State doesn't have any players. So for those players who could have gone anywhere to stay with the program and come back and win it all, I hope that shows people like commit. I'm not saying if the program is completely wrong for you, but look what can happen if you stay together, glued together with a phenomenal coach. This can happen. And I, of course, was crying throughout the entire game. Um, but I did not see that lead coming. Oh my God. But I'm telling you right now, just being there and being like, I had like really good seats. I was in the suite, and then my friend SJ was like, "Hey, come down to these seats." And we were like mid court, like not too far off the court, and they were so locked in. Oh my God, every possession was live or die. And the energy, the excitement, like Dukolich intercepted a pass or deflected a pass with like 30 seconds left to go and they were up by 30. That's what I mean. The intensity, just so locked in. Every possession, every ball was like the end of the world. Oh my God. Jaquez was incredible. Betts, Kiki, Neebkins, like Ledger Walker. I mean, the whole thing. This is going to be one of my all-time favorite teams. And so that was just so glorious. The UCLA fan section, by the way, was packed, and they have their chants and their cheers, and all the parents were there, and they all came down. Like we stayed, through the net cutting, and oh my God. And Corey Close, of course, is just like, in the leather pants that are little baggy, which is just chef's kiss. By the way, if you don't follow her on Instagram, she does all these car videos and they're absolutely hilarious. I mean, they're earnest. I'm just saying they're also funny because they're so earnest. But she's got like the best quotes and, just basically a student John Wooden. The whole thing was so great, so feel good. So anyway, I could talk about this for another hour and a half, but congratulations to UCLA. Congratulations to me. I picked them in both pools. I've been covering for Fortune Feimster over at What a Joke, a Netflix series show, and we had a pool there. Won that pool with the UCLA pick. And then Storied Sports. I'm working for Storied Sports now, and this is a new amazing women's sports media company. So go to storiedsports.com. I will link that in the bio. We had a little office pool, and I won that with my UCLA pick. So sometimes it pays off to pick from the heart, but also with strategy. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Go to Title IX, Phoenix, perfect weather, amazing. UCLA, Staley, a masterclass and just being classy. I loved it all. And if you have a chance to go to see any of these games at any level live, just go because oh my God, it's a dream. Okay, two quick things. I know that was long, but oh my God, it was actually kind of short for me. At the same point in time, right, the semifinals were Friday, the finals were Sunday, Saturday, and I had serious FOMO, and I was like, if I had a charter flight, if someone rich, if someone, listen, if you're out there and you have a lot of money and you're a crazy women's sports fan and you want to hang out with someone that is also equally obsessed with women's sports that doesn't have that type of money but is really fun to hang out with, call me and I will go with you to these games on your private jet because I wanted to get up Saturday morning, take a private jet to New York to see the PWHL Takeover at MSG. The Sirens, oh my God, Sirens played Seattle and I had serious FOMO. But I was getting updates. I mean, hold on, we've got to get some stats here because it's just so much fun. It was 18,000, right? It was 18,000, over 18,000 fans at MSG. And I had been to MSG like so many times living in New York, but to see to see the action. And also, it was just a phenomenal hockey game. I just saw the highlights. Carpenter, of course, Olympic fame, Alex Carpenter scores the first goal, second period. And then Sarah Fillier, like our superstar for the Sirens, 3 minutes left to go. Can you imagine being in MSG and you score the game like tying goal? It's 1-1. The place is going absolutely nuts. Then it goes into overtime and the Sirens win. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for. It's like the hockey gods were like, here you go. We're going to sell out MSG. It's the biggest crowd of all time. And your home team is going to win on an overtime goal. I mean, it's a dream. I'm so happy right now just talking about this. But just like think about where we're at. Like we have 18,000 plus fans going to MSG to watch women's hockey, a league that had been suffering for so long. Change of league, no money, no support, no investment. And now year three, sellout after sellout. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. So if you're not a hockey fan, get into it. Let's say you're a hockey fan from the Olympics and you're like, I don't know who to cheer for. What are the stories? A great podcast, Jocks and Jills, two phenomenal women on talking hockey, giving you lots of insight. So check out that podcast, Jocks and Jills. You'll get a lot of inside scoop. Pick a team. Doesn't matter. Just start watching. They're all on YouTube. Anytime you want to watch a women's hockey game, they're on 3-4 nights a week on YouTube. And you'll fall in love. And it's getting tight. April, last month of regular season games, and then we're in the playoffs in May. So this is the time to do it. Last regular season is a game is April 25th. Boston Fleet sits atop of the standings. Of course, Erin Frankel is our goalie, our Olympic goalie. And then, we got New York a couple points out of fifth place. So they've got to take it up a notch. Vancouver's in the hunt. Well, actually, Vancouver's at the bottom, trying to be in the hunt. Montreal is phenomenal. Minnesota obviously wins it every year. They're in the race. Pick a team, just get behind it and go. All right, rounding it out, I just want to give you a couple things to look forward to. WNBA free agency is absolutely insane. Angel Reese going from Chicago to Atlanta. I don't know what is happening in Chicago, but how you let go of Angel Reese is unbelievable. Chicago Sky need to do something. I don't know what it is, but you're breaking your hearts. You're breaking the fandom's hearts. And Atlanta, congratulations. They gave up 2 first-round picks. Yeah, take them. For Angel Reese, forget it. What an incredible trade. I don't know why and how it happened, but congratulations, Atlanta. So every single day, you're going to see insane mayhem from the free agency of WNBA. Everybody and their brother's a free agent. Maybe 4 or 5 people are sticking around with their team. So it is going to be insane. And then, of course, Monday is a WNBA draft, 7 o'clock Eastern, ESPN, Monday, the 13th, WNBA draft. So look for that. And then volleyball playoffs this weekend. League One volleyball playoffs are in Louisville. And number 1 seed Houston, they're going to take on Salt Lake. And then the other teams are Austin versus Atlanta. So Houston against Salt Lake, Austin versus Atlanta. The winners of those games go to the finals, and they're going to be in Long Beach. And I'm going next Thursday. I'm going to be in Long Beach seeing the LOVB League One volleyball finals. But watch this action all weekend. And I'll link to all of that in the show notes. So you've got volleyball playoffs, also soccer, U.S. women's national team. We got 3 friendlies coming up against Japan. First one is Saturday. And some really good news. I mean, if I can't have a triple espresso, give me a double. Sophia Wilson is back 17 months after popping out a kid. So we've got the double espresso, just waiting for Swanson to come back to make it a triple. But we got Japan this Saturday, and Japan is in really good form. It's going to be a great test. And also Tierna Davidson back from ACL. So the MASH unit is emptying out, which is fantastic. So look for Wilson and Davidson back on the pitch, as well as all your favorites. And that is it. That is it. So happy to be back. Thanks for sticking with me. Yeah, just the time of my life in Phoenix. Sorry to see the college season end, but we got the draft, we got the WNBA, and it's going to be, I'm playing WNBA fantasy all summer, so I will keep you posted on that. And yes, go to iTunes or Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Rate the show, review the show, leave me a comment. It really, really helps. I'll add all kinds of things in the show notes, so look for that. And that's it. Fans, friends, family, have the best week of your life.